I think you can see that both Microsoft and Sony are expecting to put a lot of effort into their first-party titles this time. Microsoft, actually, during the 360 cycle, their idea was that they weren't going to make too many games themselves. They were just going to make it easy for the publishers to make games on 360, which kind of worked for them, but meant that their roster of exclusives wasn't as strong as Sony's. But you can see this time round, they're putting a huge amount of money behind their exclusive titles.
Yeah, definitely.
And yes, definitely the exclusives are the ones that can really make a difference. And both Sony and Microsoft have got a lot of stuff lined up there. All I can say at the moment is that we are working on a platform exclusive title, but I can't tell you which one.
Oh my God, are you serious? No, this is okay. You don't gotta give me the answer, but I'm gonna ask you a question. And see, I wish I had you on video. Like, oh my God, man.
Sorry, the video's dropped out.
Oh man.
Networks.
Dang. Oh, if I had you on video, I would be able to get an answer without getting an answer. Alright, okay. Alright, well, let me ask you this, and maybe the tone of your voice can tell me something. Alright, so, in terms of PS3 and, well, not, forget that. I'm gonna ask it in a different way. In terms of PS4 and Xbox One, what system has you the most impressed so far from what you've seen from both of them? Which system, and like, not as a game developer, not as an engine creator or anything, as a fan, like if you just went to the store and you saw PS4, you saw Xbox One, you only had one system to choose to get or whatever, which one would it be based off what you've seen so far from both?
As a fan, that's quite an easy question to answer, because I've always been a Sony fan all my life, and I kind of prefer their engineering, their way of doing things. But the one part of the entire Xbox family of products that I personally doesn't work for me is Kinect. Partly because I just don't have a big enough living room to really get value out of Kinect. And
Gotcha.
I know Kinect's part of the sale of Xbox One, so I would always gravitate towards the PS4.
Oh wow! Alright, cool. That's an honest answer. I respect that. That's an honest answer. Okay. So now the next question. I got quite a few more questions, but I'm gonna try to make it quick because I know you're busy working on my great games. So so the next question that I have for you, and I think this right here is something that a lot of people is trying to get more concrete information on, but the cloud technology that everybody's talking about now. We all know that Xbox reversed their DRM situation, but something that's still in the air is that cloud technology supposedly, Mark Cerny said that it won't do anything to boost graphics or whatever. But Microsoft said it could, and then Nvidia has some sort of cloud technology that allows you to streamline or offload some physics and lighting and things like that. And they actually have something called cloud lighting. So for game developers to utilize, and so I'm hearing all these things, and the truth is somewhere, but nobody's coming out with it, in my opinion. So what I wanted to ask you,
the truth.
Yeah, I need the truth, man. So what I wanted to ask you, considering your situation, especially dealing with lighting. Now, if I was to go online and utilize the cloud and stuff like that, and it made my graphics better, that's great. But then if I lose the connection, will the graphics downgrade? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to understand, how does this actually work? So in your opinion, in cloud technology and your technology, how does all this work? Is it true? Is it PR marketing shit? Like, what is it?
Yeah, it's a mixture of all of these things.
Oh, this is finally a good answer, man. Oh God.
What Tony's saying is basically correct. For the pure rendering, you just don't want to do that in the cloud. People have tried, OnLive tried. There's quite a few people talking about cloud, cloud rendering and playing games in cloud. It's just a lousy experience.
Wow.
Every time you sit there thinking this is going okay, suddenly a few frames drop out and it's poor. And when you suddenly see what you can do locally on a PS4 and an Xbox One in terms of rendering, there's just no point even trying to do that in the cloud. You'll be hitting 1080p, 60 frames a second, very minimal latency. Why bother trying to do that in the cloud? Where the cloud comes in is where it can lead to much more interesting types of gameplay. Emergent behavior, all the stuff that we're going on in MMOs. The thing I'd really like to see in the cloud, for example, isn't the lighting or the physics. I'd like to see some really good AI in the cloud, because we haven't, as game developers, we've really pushed the graphics bar as high as we can.
Yeah.
But we haven't really thought that hard about AI. I mean, there aren't really that many artificial agents in games that have genuine intelligence. But if you compare, say, the AI behind a chess computer now, they beat most humans all the time. Within the confines of playing that game, they surpass our intelligence. I'm kind of interested in what sort of games you can create where you have genuinely intelligent AI agents running around, and you probably need the power of cloud computing for that.
Okay, all right. Well, that's good. That's good, because Microsoft did say that. That's one of the things that they was talking about with Drivatar for the Forza game, and how it's supposed to be the death of AI and everything is human-like. So, okay, all right, cool. So I would love to see how cloud computing works for that. You know what I'm saying? So that sounds great. I really appreciate your time in this interview, man, because you're keeping it real. I love that. I'm telling you, it means a lot, man, seriously. So now the next question I have is this. I understand that you guys is working on a lot of games and things that you can't speak on, but something that struck me not at E3, but at Sony's reveal and Microsoft's reveal. Now Microsoft, they're heavy on the entertainment hub, like you said, and stuff like that, right? And Sony is more gamer focused. Like, from your professional opinion and how your business work in terms of engine, like, do you see yourself being able to grow more with Sony because of what their message is for their system as opposed to Microsoft? Because a lot of developers were saying that, if you look at how Sony is doing things with the indie community and everything like that, and how gamer focused they are, it helps developers and engine creators and things of that nature work with Sony more, because their message is more about that, and you get a better highlight with your product. Whereas Microsoft, focusing on the NFL and other applications that may not have a lot to do with gaming at all, being a center part of their Xbox One experience as well, could kind of put a damper on the actual platform and the promotion of what you guys are trying to build for them in terms of gaming. So how does this work for you in terms of business decisions that you make? Do you think you will be making more decisions leaning towards the Sony side because of their messaging, or does it even matter at all?
It doesn't really affect us. I mean, we have to support many different platforms at the moment. Where obviously at the moment the focus of all our efforts is on Xbox One and PS4, but we have to support Wii U, 360 and PS3. There's going to be lots more games coming out on them. PC, Android, iOS, Linux. We can't.
Oh wow, you do it all, man. You do it all. Okay.
We have to sort of spread out across all of them. My view is, and I've sat and argued with investors about this for ages, and I'm sure I'm right. I think this next generation will probably sell even more units than the last generation. And
I agree.
The last generation consisted of PS3, 360, and the Wii. That's about 250 million devices.
Whew.
This generation will. I mean, I hate to say this because I love the company, but the Wii U is going to be a long way behind.
Of course.
Most of this generation will be carved out between Sony and Microsoft. So already you can see both of those devices are going to sell 100 million units. That's over the next 4 or 5 years. That's a massive market.
Yeah.
Who comes out on top is going to depend a lot on the moves they make, when the price points they hit, when they cut the prices, which games they bundle, all the usual marketing stuff.
Okay.
In terms of the battle for who's just got the best hardware in the box, that's going to be quite a tough one for either side to say definitively, because I mean they're both AMD, they're both 8 gig, they're similar spec GPU. There's not quite enough for it to be a slam dunk on the hardware front. What clearly Sony do have is a bit of a slam dunk in their favour at the moment is they're $100 cheaper, and that's going to count.
So the RAM, in terms of it being GDDR5, does it make a big difference over the GDDR3 that's in the Xbox One?
Sony's bet is that it will do. We're looking very hard at it. We suspect that there will be some advantages there, but there is a little bit of a trade-off between the faster RAM tends to have a slightly longer latency, so we're not. I'd certainly there are definitely some things are going to run more smoothly on PS4 than on Xbox One, but I'm sure there's going to be other things that will run more smoothly on Xbox One. It's just the nature of these types of devices.
Okay. All right, that sounds good. That sounds fair. Now, let me ask you this. Did EA approach you guys for the Battlefield 4 lighting, or did you approach them and showcase what your technology can do for their game? How did that come about?